Great. Thank you all so much. Let's see. Looks like I'll probably just stay off video here. But yeah, thanks for having me today. I wanted to do hopefully a quick and fast presentation around the variety of different programs that OEDIT is bringing out between state legislation, state stimulus, and federal funding. Um, First stop, though, why is this important? Of course, our mission, aside from general economic development and prosperity for all the regions of the state, is to also help Colorado businesses and employment recovery. Our two big goals for the upcoming year ahead are to facilitate the recovery of Colorado's economy by increasing access to capital for small businesses and to support rural communities and attracting and retaining jobs. So you'll see a lot of the programs that I'm talking about today are going to fall into those buckets. OEDIT, of course, has a vested interest in supporting rural communities, which of course had disparate effects. Some of them went through the year well, some of them it just increased their struggles even more. But truly believe that investment in a fair economy begins in all four corners of the states and across all business sectors. We also recognize that certain businesses were disproportionately impacted by COVID. Next slide, please. So the new funding resources that I'm going to go through today come out of basically four buckets. Basically, OEDIT partnered with the legislature to pass 12 bills that appropriated $228 million in funding to support economic recovery efforts. A lot of these are still being finalized through different processes, but we'll continue to update all of those on our COVID-19 resource link at the bottom of the page there. So the four buckets are basically federal CARES funding, original legislative agenda item bills like the new Cannabis Entrepreneurship Office, Advanced Industries Program, things like that, state stimulus funding, and of course, ARPA funding. So we totally recognize that the volume of different support programs coming out, both within OEDIT and other state departments, can be a little overwhelming. We're definitely here to help you sort through those opportunities and find the solution for your local businesses and communities. Especially on our Rural Opportunity Office team, we're always happy to do the research and make the connection with our partners to help make navigating that a little easier. So as you think about your local economy and business ecosystems recovery and future resiliency, continue to share your thoughts back with us as well. Where are you still seeing gaps in support outside of these programs that I'm covering today? So over the next few slides, I'm going to organize these into three categories. So the first one is going to be access to capital for small businesses. These programs provide funding to help small businesses access a variety of debt financing to continue operating or grow through non-traditional, i.e. traditional banking support programs. As a community, it's great to familiarize yourself with these if a business is having trouble getting lending access through a traditional bank. Then, of course, we have grants, incentives, and technical assistance, and then finally, community level programs. So jumping into access to capital. The biggest one that has come out is the Climber Loan Fund, which is Colorado loans to increase Main Street business economic recovery. This is a statewide program that's going to provide up to $250 million in working capital loans to Colorado small businesses through 2023. Climber focuses on businesses that were financially stable before the pandemic, but now need help to survive. It's basically there to promote small business recovery, save jobs, and support the economy. So this is designed for businesses, sole proprietors, and nonprofits with between 5 to 99 employees. They can apply for loans between $30,000 and $500,000 to support ongoing working capital needs. They're offering below market rates and a one-year deferred payment option. And the program, special consideration in this program is given to small businesses that are underserved, located in rural areas, located in low to moderate income areas, and in other distressed and underserved areas. So a lot of these programs we're doing in partnerships with other state departments. So in this case, Climber is housed in the state treasurer's office and supported by the Office of Economic Development and International Trade. And then the Colorado Housing and Finance Authority distributes loans through a statewide network of lenders. So if you have a local bank that wants to get involved in this, they can go to that website and offer the services through the Climber program as well. And this is a really cool prospect. This is taking $50 million of state funding and leveraging it with $200 million of private funding to provide a pretty awesome new program. Next slide, please. The next one is also small business access to capital, and this is the Colorado Revolving Loan Fund. This is one of the programs that we received through the Economic Development Administration's CARES funding. You've probably heard about the planning efforts that the Colorado Tourism Office and DOLA and OEDIT are doing on the community side. This is on the access to capital side for businesses. So the providers for this are the Colorado Lending Source, Region 9, and the Colorado Enterprise Zone. And they're overseeing $8 million in this revolving loan fund for small businesses or nonprofit organizations if they are, again, having trouble accessing traditional bank loans. The institutions involved are really looking to serve communities across Colorado, but also have a focus on Native American or tribal, immigrant women, disabled, and veteran-owned businesses, as well as businesses in low-income rural communities. Next slide, please. Another new loan program for businesses in a different level, if they're not currently operating, is the Colorado Startup Loan Program. We recognize that COVID had significant impacts on businesses across the state, and even though we tried to support businesses to keep their doors open, many of them did have to close. Many of these entrepreneurs want to restart businesses, but because they were bankrupted or shut down, they might be prevented from re-entering the market because of either low credit scores or other COVID-19 related financial difficulties. This startup loan fund is aimed at supporting new business formation from those prior business owners to help them restructure and meet changing market needs associated with the pandemic. One of the cool things here, it provides lending capital as well as small grants for businesses looking to start, restart, or restructure their business. So again, in this case, it's going to be community development financial institutions and nonprofit lenders that will be distributing these funds. And the other piece here is that this is also a revolving loan fund, so that the dollars provided here can be used to support entrepreneurs well into the future. So even though it's a one-time allocation, we'll see this recycling throughout the state over the years. Next slide, please. The last one is one that is pending, but I wanted to highlight it here because it will influence and support the other programs that I just mentioned. So out of the federal ARPA funding, they passed a bill to basically reinitiate the state small business credit initiative. Colorado's preliminary allocation out of this is just under 76 million. The state will be applying for this in December of 2021, and we're expecting that applications for this will open up in 2022. The thing that's really interesting about this program is that it provides cash collateral support to access some of those other loans that I mentioned. So a lot of times our disadvantaged businesses don't have the collateral to either access a traditional bank loan or even these secondary loans that are available to them as disadvantaged businesses. And this fund would be able to provide services through that. Okay, so moving on to the next bucket. So these are all kind of combination programs that combine access to capital, grants, and technical assistance to help your local small businesses move forward. The first one is the Disproportionately Impacted Business Relief Package. And this is a series of grants, technical assistance, and startup and growth loans that are identified for businesses that have been disproportionately impacted by COVID-19. We expect those applications to open up in August, so at the end of this month, and they'll be supported by the Minority Business Office at OEDIT. And I did see the question in there. I will probably get to that at the end of the presentation, just so I can get through these really quickly. So next slide, please. The next one is for existing businesses. This is called the Small Business Accelerated Growth Program, and this came out of state stimulus funding. This program is concentrating on the development and deployment of tools and resources to foster the growth of existing companies with 19 or fewer employees. Now, these are companies that have moved out of the startup phase and are ready to move into the second stage of their business. So they're in a growth phase, or they're on the verge of rapid growth and profitability. So 1.65 million is set aside just for technical assistance and grants, and this is paired with that Colorado Startup Loan Fund program as well. So once you go through technical assistance, you become eligible for grants, and you also get assistance to engage in that Colorado Startup Loan Fund to continue to grow your business. Next slide, please. Another really interesting program, as we're seeing businesses either shift or transition or try to restructure coming out of COVID and even prior, is the employee ownership office that we have within OEdit. And they offer three.
Sounds like we lost Kat.
Carlin, can you still see that Kat is on?
She is not. Oh, she is on, yes. But we cannot hear her.
Okay, so let's.
Can someone text her and let her know that she can't be heard?
Yep.
Just to take advantage of the time, I guess we could go to a couple of questions that maybe are not directly related to her presentation. Are there any questions in queue, Chantal, that are general that maybe between you and me we could answer?
Yeah, Theo, there is one, but I'm just trying to get the person from CDPH&E back on the call. He got bumped off as well for some reason. But the question was CDPH&E's, when will guidance be updated for businesses in the same way that they were for schools recently? So we'll get that answer to you.
Okay.
The other thing that I would mention that we didn't have in your update, Rick, is two questions we've been getting a lot of calls on is the 1271 planning grants that we call the Incentives Planning and Grant Program. So the planning grant program is going to be launching this Friday or potentially Monday, if we can't quite get it out Friday. And everybody should call Andy Hill or send Andy Hill an email. We'll put her email in the chat. But this is the bill that passed this year that provided DOLA a great deal of funding to promote incentivizing affordability through land use with local governments. So we're really excited about that. And there's going to be two steps, the planning piece and then the incentives grant program. And we are taking input on the program guidelines for the incentives land use grant program. So please, if you're interested, email Andy. And then also we got dollars for the Main Street Open for Business program. The program has launched. The application materials are online, and Main Street is offering weekly Zoom calls to answer questions and give advice about the applications. The first applications are going to be due August 23rd, and then after that, because it's stimulus dollars and they're under a very tight deadline, we'll take rolling applications after that to try to get the dollars out the door to all of you. So 2 community development office updates, Rick, and we put those in the chat.
Great, thanks. Any other questions while we're still waiting for Kat to maybe make it back?
No, I'm not seeing any yet.
Okay, I can hear you again. Sorry,
Hi.
I so apologize. I don't know what happened there. If we good old remote working from rural Colorado, I don't know if we had an internet outage there. So where did you lose me? I didn't even see the text come through there.
You're on the slide talking about the employee ownership credit program and the employee ownership trial grant.
Okay, perfect. So just wrapping that one up, sorry about that, everybody. So the trial grant can be used to support, it has some technical assistance for businesses to look at this option. And then also if they decide to move forward and then receive one of those loans, the grant can actually be used to repay part of that loan as well. So kind of a nice clustering of resources. So let's go to the next slide really quickly. This is a new office that was brought up in regular state legislation, which is the Colorado Cannabis Office. And this one provides funding for grants and loans, as well as technical assistance for entrepreneurs in the cannabis space. You know, Colorado is definitely a leader in this industry and is looking in a way to equitably move the industry forward. So one of the focuses of this is providing resources to entrepreneurs that have been left out of the space and or maybe had prior convictions or arrests around a marijuana offense and are actually looking at re-entering into the entrepreneurship space in a legal and safe way. So a really exciting office. You'll see more programs coming out that just launched about a week ago. So starting at the end of the year, you will be able to see a lot more coming out around that. Okay. Next slide, please. So moving into, oh goodness, let's see.
Okay, sorry, I'm switching. I think it might be something with my headphones here. So let's switch to the Colorado Arts Relief Grant. So this one provides $15.5 million to provide a second round of funding to the Colorado Arts Relief Grant that came out last year. And this grant supports arts, cultural, and entertainment artists, crew members, and organizations that were affected by the COVID pandemic. If you remember, this program already provided $7.5 million in early 2021 in its first round of funding. So there will be 2 grant applications that will be opening in the middle of this month. They're just wrapping up all of the documents for that. So there will be one that is for businesses and organizations, and then another one that is for individuals. So again, just the link above there will provide those to you. But for those of you that had, strong impacts to your arts, cultural, and entertainment sectors, that's a great one to share with your local businesses and artists and arts organizations. Really nice to see additional funding coming into that one. Okay, next slide, please. The Rural Jumpstart Zone grants. So this provides cash benefits in addition to the existing tax benefits for businesses participating in the Rural Jumpstart program. Rural Jumpstart, of course, is an existing performance-based tax exemption for new businesses, as well as the new employees of those businesses that choose to locate in economically distressed rural areas of Colorado. Those are the Rural Jumpstart zones. Right now, Rural Jumpstart provides benefits from state income tax, state sales and use tax, county and municipal personal property taxes, as well as an employee tax credit for 100% of state income taxes on their wages for work in the Rural Jumpstart Zone. What this one-time allocation does is it increases the incentive available to businesses to locate in rural Colorado by providing cash grants up to $20,000 to new businesses to establish in a Jumpstart Zone. That goes up to $40,000 if you're establishing in a Tier 1 just transition community that's in a Rural Jumpstart Zone. And then there's also a cash incentive of up to $2,500 per new employee for a regular Jumpstart Zone, and up to $5,000 per employee in a Tier 1 just transition community. So really trying to foster, business starts, and also locating outside businesses in rural Colorado. Next slide, please. And the last one, I think, on the small business grant side is the expansion of what's calling the Small Business Grant Program, but you probably, yes, there is a map of Jumpstart zones, and I will link that at the end. The GAP fund that you probably heard of last year, this was funded with another $15 million. The fund, when it came out last year, received over 10,000 applications, totaling over $240 million in requests for grants and loans. And obviously that initial $25 million allocation left a lot of businesses without assistance. So this $15 million is really designed for those businesses in that initial cycle that received either less than $15,000 for the grant cycle to bring them up to a total of $15K, or giving preferences for businesses that weren't able to be funded if they put their application in that first cycle. They are also doing additional preferences for sole proprietorships, which were kind of underrepresented in that first cycle of funding. Again, special preferences for those located in an economically distressed area. And then preferences given to businesses that have rent or a mortgage payment for the businesses where they reside. So trying to offset some of those ongoing costs. Next slide, please.
And Kat, it's Rick.
Yes.
We're getting close to our German time, so maybe can I ask you to wrap up? We take a few questions, maybe go a little bit over 11:30 as our plan.
Absolutely, and apologies on my outage time there. Meetings and events incentive, that is one that you can easily get to online, or just use the slides as a resource. And then as we skip through the last ones here, we'll just kind of cruise through them really quickly so you can see what else is coming. This is the big one really for your local communities, the Revitalization Grant Program that really looks at mixed use properties. This is a really nice complement for the Main Street Open for Business program. Community revitalization is being run through CCI in partnership with DOLA. And then the rest of these are all ones that are going to be coming out over the next couple of months and aren't open yet. So we can cruise through those. And then the very, very last slide as we kind of move through the rest of these is looking at the new EDA funds, but I have a feeling that we'll probably be talking about that more. And just the final slide, the ones that are actually open right now. So yes, apologies for the timing there. And let's head over to questions.
Thanks, Kat. Chantal is going to facilitate questions.
Awesome.
Kat, you did have a question of, can a business that wants to invest in employee housing for its staff use any of the funds for this purpose?
Yeah, unless, so there would be two ways to go about it. If the employee housing is on site at the business, so it's part of, you know, say a building that you own and you're looking to make capital improvements. Some of those loan programs are open for capital improvements, but it would also need to be linked to other sort of capital business improvements on the purely revenue producing side. So nothing that is purely housing oriented. It would have to be tied in with something else. And then of course, on the community side, that community revitalization grant program does include workforce or creative housing as part of one of the kind of priority areas. So that might be one to look into, but that one is really designated more for a community level of application versus a small business.
Kat, Rick Garcia, Chantal, maybe I can add just another perspective to that question. Many of the housing assistance grant and loan programs that we've presented in the past during many of these coordination calls, you know, the opportunity is for local communities, if there's a general a housing project or affordable housing project that you have in mind, it's not out of the question that some of those units in that proposed affordable building could be master leased by a private corporation or even by the local government to house workers both in business sector as well as in the public sector. You know, those kinds of opportunities are not out of the question. I just wanted to layer that out there for other ways to think about how to get employee housing done. Thanks.
Thanks, Rick. We do have some more questions. I know we're over time. How about quickly, are the small business access to capital grants and technical assistance programs the ones that municipalities have to apply for, or businesses apply directly?
Yeah, the great question. Those are for the businesses to apply for directly. It's just really great as local government leaders if you have sort of an idea of what they are, that if a local business comes to you, or even a local bank might come to you and say, hey, we've got businesses that are having issues with traditional banking, that you can refer them basically back to OEDIT and those programs.
Okay, thank you.